Excellent. Cool. So welcome everybody to the this month's installation of Southwest Riverside County Military Affairs Committee. We've got a lot to cover today. Very excited to have Carol Turner from SWRCMAC here with us today. If you're not familiar with SWRCMAC, be excited. They have some incredible programming, an incredible video library, and I know Carol's going to talk quite a bit about it today. So with that, I'm going to start as we always do with some introductions, just so we get an idea of who's in the room here. So if you could stay on mute until I call you, that way the list here is a little more easily managed. So I'll start. Mike Monroe, Marietta Waldemar Chamber and Southwest Riverside County Military Affairs Committee. Next up is Heather.
Hello, everybody. It's Heather with Marietta Waldemar Chamber of Commerce, Impact Southwest Riverside County, Southwest Riverside County MAC, all that fun stuff. Glad to be here.
Thank you, Heather. Next up is Nadine.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nadine, and I'm with the Marietta Waldemar Chamber as well. And yeah, everything else.
Thank you, Nadine. Next up, Amanda Fisher.
Hello, everyone. I'm with the Office of Senator Melissa Melendez, and I'm a Gold Star wife.
Thank you, Amanda. Next up, Connie Stouffer.
Hello, I'm Connie Stouffer with the Economic Development Coalition.
Thank you, Connie. Next up is Greg Thomas.
Good afternoon, all. Greg Thomas, General Manager of Elsinore Valley Municipal Water District and a retired Marine.
Thank you, Greg. Next up is Raven Hilden.
Good afternoon, everybody. I am Raven Hilden, CEO of MilVet.org. Great to be here.
Thanks, Raven. Appreciate you. And Nonprofit of the Year, shameless plug. And finally, Mr. Rich Lee Master.
Hello, everybody. Rich Lee Master. I own Lee Master Computer Services. I'm a Navy vet. I'm also a board member on the Veterans Business Action Committee in Marietta.
Thank you for representing. VBAC is an awesome organization. Shameless plug for them as well. If you'd like to do veteran to veteran business networking, as well as access to some great resources. They meet every second Thursday of the month at 10 a.m. at the Innovation Center. Great group. Kashawn Cupid, who set them up this year, is really a rock star there. They have equally rock star people like Mr. Rich Lee Master there. So thank you for joining us. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into this presentation. I'm curious. I know things go crazy up there at March when things are going nuts. So hopefully Michelle will jump in here soon. But worst case scenario, we'll do their update at the back half. But I want to make sure that we get the information out from SWRCMAC. So I'm going to go ahead and read this intro here. So if you all would help me welcome Carol Turner, the VP of Strategic Communications for a wonderful organization called SWRCMAC. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so we can get her presentation up. Where did it go? I closed it out because I'm a dummy.
Well, hey, everybody. While he's looking around there, I'll just say a quick hello. I was all prepared to share from my screen, and we don't often work in Zoom. We do everything in Google Meet. And for some reason, I was unable to share my screen. So Mike is helping me out here. Are you able to find it, Mike?
Yes, and it is booting up as we speak. Give me 2.2.
I can begin by talking. I can talk off the cuff about SWRCMAC quite a bit. So first, by way of background, let me just say, your community is fantastic. I am an active duty Marine spouse. I live here aboard Camp Pendleton, and I spend quite a bit of time back out there in your region and your area, Southwest Riverside. We were 5 years of my life in 29 Palms. And so had a number of coworkers and friends live down in your community and continue to have that situation, and have certainly, my husband and I have availed ourselves of wine country, the great restaurants out that way, wonderful hiking, all kinds of things. And my husband, by the way, has arrived at March Air Force Base on multiple occasions. So that's a little bit about my background. I've been a military spouse for 30 years. My husband is an active duty Marine. So that's kind of me there. SWRCMAC, we are and he's moving right along. Look at that. Well trained. Thank you, Mike, for moving us right along there. So basically what I've done is I've created a little slide deck here for you, but it's just in case I'm boring, you can read that instead of listening to me. I'm not going to be reading off these slides. I promised Mike that this wouldn't be death by PowerPoint. As you can see there, we are a nonprofit and we specialize in military cultural awareness. You all have a pretty good group there in the room. Gold Star wife, there's just no words to honor that, but we try to do our best to do that. And I heard a Marine, so oorah. But if I didn't hear an Army person, but I can hoo-ah with the best of them. So wonderful to be part of this group. We train on military culture, cultural awareness, and cultural competency. Those of you in the military community may think that that's not a culture, or that there's no need for an understanding of that culture. But let me tell you, there is absolutely a military culture, and we are going to offer training so that everybody, whether that be corporations, communities, healthcare professionals, are able to more effectively engage with and connect with anybody in the community. Many of you all are business leaders or involved in business. And I would say that having that level of military cultural competency is great to both increase business, to be able to reach out and engage veterans and military affiliate communities, but then also as an employer to retain, attract some of the best employees. We all know, I'm sure everybody in this room knows, that veterans make wonderful employees. So you can see there that that is the basic of our foundation. We are based right in San Diego. That wonderful graphic that you see there was drawn by one of our team members. We create coursework. So we have an entire production team. We have a video library. So we say there, I joke with my team that this is a little bit of social worker language. We power learning journeys, right? But that's exactly what we do. You can see our wide variety of things that we do there. But our primary goal is human connection. We want everybody to more effectively engage with, connect with, be able to support veterans. All right, Mike, you can move it along there. There's our little we believe statement. Of course, we are a mission-based organization. I will say we are a nonprofit, but we're a social enterprise nonprofit. And what that means is that we have to be sustainable, but we're not out there beating the drum. In many cases, what we're doing is we are offering our product free to online learners, veterans, their families, any individual. But then we also package some of our products to corporations in training them about military cultural awareness so that they can run their operations. So if that makes sense, and I can answer any questions about that, but you can see there that we believe in education and training, and we know that that leads to transformation. We consider ourselves a public health model organization. We are a tech company in the sense that we have the online curriculum, and we're an education company. So kind of hit all of those. There you go. All right, thank you. You don't have to read this big long thing. I'm going to tell you what I often have to when I'm speaking to audiences, particularly of veterans, as many of you are, or those that are military affiliate community. Why was there a need for cultural awareness? And I'm going to boil it down for you with a story. If you're a veteran and you have a need for mental health services, and you live in Poughkeepsie, say, or someplace in middle America, maybe without a big veteran population, you want to find a mental health provider. And we hear from veterans all the time, they only want someone that gets them, that's been there. Well, there really aren't enough mental health providers in our country to help all the veterans that are seeking services. So we started back in 2013 in San Diego by recognizing a need to train mental health professionals on military cultural competency. And what this means to us is this idea of understanding veterans and being able to engage with them by asking questions. We always say, you want to be able to go 3 questions deep, right? You want to be able to say, number 1, did you serve? And I don't think this will be a surprise to anyone in this room. Many veterans don't self-identify, so asking the question can be crucial. And then asking them the next question, well, where did you serve? Or how did you serve? Or what branch? Or what was your occupational specialty? So believe it or not, this may seem fairly obvious to you. Many employers, large corporations, communities, mental health professionals didn't know to even start at that basic level, how to start a conversation about military service. So that was the need. And that was identified back in 2013. We moved out from there to start to reach out beyond mental health professionals to higher education, to employers, to communities, creating collective impact programs, creating support groups, employee relation groups, all these types of things. And then also we started creating courses that are veteran facing or military family facing that will help them with transitioning out of the military, finding jobs, things like that. So you can kind of see that was our beginning, and we're moving along from there. All right, thanks, Mike. You can take me to the next one. I promised you guys I wouldn't read every slide, right? So you can see there, we do offer custom courses. We create courses. If you've got a content idea, you can come to us. I will tell you that we would then need a funder or a grant or something like that, because that's how we operate as a nonprofit. We use grants or funders, corporations, to then support us in building needed and identified course content. These are the things that we put on there, just letting you all know very briefly. When it says training packages, that's that idea that even though our courses are all for free, we can take those courses and bundle them and provide the evaluation and feedback, the metrics behind it, tracking that everybody's taken the course, the feedback on what's been learned. Those are those training packages. And that's what we sell that then allows us to support the nonprofit side. So for instance, Amazon right now, training huge portions of their workforce and human resources so that to be what we call veteran ready. So our primary objective is to make sure businesses, communities are VRO, veteran ready. Our most basic course is to train about being veteran ready, and that's a series of 5 courses. So we do educational consultancy, we'll come in, we do live speaking and webinars. You guys are all local. We have Dr. Heidi Kraft, is a Navy veteran, does wonderful speaking engagements on what it means to be a veteran. And she does live speaking webinar events. It's fantastic. Had to put webinars on there because we're all coming out of COVID. We were all live speaking, and then we have become very proficient in webinars. And finally, we have an educational podcast, and I will move on to that. If you can slide to the next one there, Mike, there you go. So these are some of the areas that we have coursework available on. So we've got it covered. However, we are looking to extend that right now. We are really looking in right now. I just met with Steve Dilley at Vet Art. So I think he would be considered San Diego, although he's in Escondido. One of you could, I'm sure, help me and tell me if that's what that's considered. Yeah, depends on where it is. Thanks, Mike. So we meeting with him to talk about both the creative economy as a transition option for veterans, but then also the creative arts as a mental health treatment tool, right? So we're always looking for new coursework ideas. We're working right now with Wounded Warrior Project. We've got about 15 courses that we're getting ready to drop at the end of this month or beginning of March that are all around TBI, resiliency, PTSD. But then we're working on a new project with them with peer-to-peer mentoring, an entire course series on that. And we're hoping to grow, quite frankly, into the ideas of civics education, misinformation and disinformation. We're trying to flex and pivot and be there for what the veteran community and military affiliated community needs at any given time. All right, Mike, you can move me on there. Okay, so our primary course, and I actually on my slide deck had it included, but it's 15 minutes long and I wouldn't do that to you all. But our primary course is 15 things veterans want you to know. And that is available free on YouTube. You can just Google search that, look it up, and you're going to see that course. But what we did is we surveyed a huge group of veterans and asked them, what do you want people to know about you? And we came up with this course. The number one thing on there, and my Marine in the audience will hopefully agree with this, we're not all soldiers. That was the number one thing that we heard. They wanted people to know we're not all soldiers. And that course takes you through every step that will allow you to become veteran ready. Highly encourage all of you to look at that course on YouTube. Recommend it. If you've got external facing employees that are going to be engaging with the public and you want to be a veteran ready organization, that basic course is the place to start. So, all right. On the next slide, I created this one just for you all, because I know you all are in a bring in the troops push and campaign. So Mike spoke to me and said, well, what kind of courses do you have that would be appealing to our business community? These are some of the courses I put together for you. This is a small sample. We have more than 250 courses online. I am not going to walk you through how to do this, but if you go to psycharmor.org, you will be asked to log in with your email, and then you can take any of those courses for free. We just implemented a new learning management system. So, and we're offering our courses through that. We have seen a great responsiveness in terms of speed and access for everybody. We were having some problems with that before, but all of our courses are about, thank you for popping that into the chat, much appreciated. All of our courses are short, by the way. I'll tell you a really funny story. My son is in recruiting and hiring for cybersecurity, and his organization is interested in becoming VRO, veteran ready. And he goes, oh, mom, if I sign people up for this, they're not going to be awful courses and all my coworkers are going to hate me, right? He's like, I'm not signing them up for hours of training. And I said, no, son, these are about 10 to 15 minute courses. They're very engaging, and we have wonderful feedback on all of those. While I'm here, I want to take a moment to share with you a story, because I put on this list a number of courses that are about veteran hiring and businesses, because that's who you all are, right? But I've also put on there the SAVE course in supporting a veteran in crisis. I know you all are all people that care a lot about service and community. And I want to just tell you a quick story about one of our partners. We partner with Firewatch, which is a program in Florida that is a suicide prevention program. And their primary goal is to train communities to be part of the solution for suicide. And they have identified all kinds of businesses that tend to be where you might flag somebody with suicidal ideation. I found this fascinating. It tends to be animal shelters or boarding and kennels for pets, all kinds of different organizations, hotels, things like that. Mailmen and post offices, because they typically are going to be out in the community, and they are working to get community members trained on suicide prevention. That's that SAVE course. It's a very, very basic course that would train the average citizen to be able to be trained to step in, to ask the question, to know where the resources to be part of a suicide prevention front line for those veterans that might be in crisis. So I just want to put that out there, that is an additional way we see communities using our resources. Little firsthand story there. I'm going to tell you one more quick story. I know I think my timing, I'm coming up on about 15 minutes or so, Mike, but I'm still okay. Okay. Quick story. I'm going to tell you about Habitat for Humanity. They started training all of their intake people to be veteran ready. They then opened up all kinds of new funding sources, because it turns out about 30% of their applicants were veterans that were not self-identifying. Once they identified them as veterans, they knew to ask the question, are you a veteran? And then how to ask it. Were you ever in the military? Because many people think, oh, veteran, I'm not a veteran unless I went to combat or unless I did this or that. That's absolutely not true. They opened up a lot of federal funding. They were then able to funnel them into other chains of funding, which freed up funds for other houses. So we saw using our tools, our veteran ready, training their intake people about how to talk to veterans was crucial in opening up funding lines and identifying veterans. So these are just some of the ways we're impacting the community that we're extremely proud of what we're able to do. We're looking, by the way, also to move into helping veterans find legal and pro bono support, real estate, all those kinds of things. All right, last thing, or if you can go to the next slide, just throwing that up there because who doesn't like to talk about numbers like these? We see that people that take our courses, when they fill out the evaluation afterwards, these are the kind of response we get on whether the training was valuable. So those are pretty high numbers. We're getting ready to update that. We've got a new learning management system. So yes, I know those metrics look outdated, but we are seeing the same kind of numbers. I can promise you that. All right, Mike, you can go to the next one there. Okay, so I got to tell you, I came into this job 15 months ago, and the day I started, the first meeting I attended was about a podcast, and I'm like a big podcast groupie. So I came back to the team after listening in and said, well, where do you want my opinions on this? Well, they didn't have anybody internally managing the podcast. So you know what happens when you raise your hand, right? They point to you. So I became the de facto podcast person. So I manage and curate our podcast. It's called Behind the Mission. Mike, if you click on that Behind the Mission tile, I think you'll go to Apple Podcasts. Does that work for you? There you go. Look at us on Apple Podcasts and you can see what we curate here is a wide range of people in the veteran and military organization space. These are only about 30 minutes every week. We view our podcast as an abundance partnership for everybody in the MSO VSO space. So we bring on voices from all kinds of partners talking about all kinds of different programs. If you want to keep up to date on offerings for veterans and you want to be able to support veterans or know about resources, I'd love for you to subscribe, listen in, or scroll through here and check out some of these. These aren't even all companies we're in partnership with. We are just really trying to be advocates for the resources that are out there in the community for veterans. I'm very, very proud of this podcast. It's very personal to me. So yeah, just wanted to point that out. So you can go back. I think there's probably only one more slide there. And it might even just be, yeah, look at that. It's our thank you. As I said, we work with a lot of different organizations right now. We're beginning to work with Johnson & Johnson. We're working with Amazon. Some of these are have been our subject matter experts. Some of these are our funders and corporate donors. And some of them are just organizations we partner with to amplify veteran and military affiliated community needs and resources. So with that, I've kind of talked maybe a little too long, but I am happy to answer any questions.
And if you'd like, especially since we have limited numbers today, feel free to just jump in and ask Carol any question you'd like. Don't be shy.
Are you going to ask me if I'm sad to leave Southern California when we get orders? Because the answer is yes. I'm going to have to leave all my wine country membership, Temecula wine country memberships behind, which is very, very unfortunate. But we have orders this summer. I'll continue with Psych Armor, but we'll be moving back to the East Coast. And boy, I'm going to miss this California weather. So.
It cracks me up. I was doing a bid with another chamber, the Utah chamber, when I was at WACE earlier this year, and their CEO told me that he searched Google for the best weather in America, and Temecula popped up. And the sole reason that they knew about Temecula and came to Temecula Valley was because of that search that we have the best weather all year. So
yeah,
it truly is is amazing on that.
Except for yesterday. Did you guys get that rain out there yesterday?
We did.
Okay, yeah. We were getting, well, thank you for sharing that for me, Mike. I will tell you, I'm available at cturner@psycharmor.org. I can answer any questions. If you want to be pointed to any particular courses or you have any interest area in ways, but I think I would encourage you all to at least start with that 15 things veterans want you to know, and encourage you to share that with your employees, your other partners and organizations, to let them know this is a great way to be able to engage with veterans as a starting point. So anybody have any ideas on courses or resources you'd like us, or podcast speakers, anything that you can think of that you can point me towards? Because I'm always looking to amplify and be an advocate.
I would highly recommend Raven with Milvet. They're if not the force, one of the best forces for good when it comes to military support here locally. So much, in fact, as I had mentioned, they were our nonprofit of the year last year for the Chamber of Commerce. So
okay, Ravenwood.
Yeah, so I'd be happy to make that connection, and Raven as well. I'm sure has tons to say about her organization. So
Yeah, I was wondering if you were looking for podcast persons to interview and to be a part of that. I was just wondering if would we just connect people to you?
Yeah, send me an email,
Fantastic.
shoot me an email. We're always open to it. And beyond open to it. I'm the person always trying to fill a weekly schedule. So
I hear that.
yeah, I'm booked. I think I've got people through the first week in April right now.
Cool.
And that even makes me a little bit nervous, but we're there as a positive force just to amplify. This isn't any kind of grilling or anything, and we'll take questions that can be submitted. And so yeah, no, send me your ideas.
Awesome.
I appreciate
Love that. Thank you.
Can and will. I love it. Well, at this point, it doesn't seem like there's any questions, but I just wanted to reiterate that one of the things that I love about PsychArmor is that they're really talking to the decision makers of the people who ultimately are either the wall or the door to employment, which are the people who make the decision, the HR directors, these massive companies. And we have all of these great organizations that'll teach you how to write a resume and make the military community ready for jobs. But that's one of the biggest holdups. And I especially just want to salute them for teaching folks to ask the question of, did you serve?
Yeah.
That's really a big part of that equation there. So
Thank you.
I have one
By the way,
question.
we also have resume writing and how to do an interview and all. We have all those courses too. We have lots of veteran and mil-spouse facing courses. So yeah, we very, very big in that space.
The library that you have is truly astounding. So if you have not been to PsychArmor yet, I highly recommend it. Connie, I saw you had something.
Yeah, I just had a question about whether you also provide trainings for employers on how to support military families. So I know there's a lot that comes with hiring a veteran and helping them acclimate to a workplace, but also if you're a family member of somebody who's currently deployed or recently deployed, and now you're basically a single parent trying to run your whole household and work and do all those things, I imagine that it's really challenging just emotionally and logistically, and how employers can be more friendly to military families too. I don't know if that's something that you guys offer. Or...
We do. One of the courses that we have is actually to create how to be flexible around veteran families. I didn't put that on that list, but that is absolutely one of those. It's funny that you say this, Connie, because I just previewed our podcast for next week. And our guest on there next week is a military family member, but she's neither a spouse nor active duty herself. And the conversation is around the idea of military families go beyond just an active duty service person and a spouse, and how do we best support them and how do we give them a voice at the table? So it's funny that you say that because that just came up. But yes, there are a number of courses. One of the big areas for us, by the way, is caregiver community courses. And so we have, people don't tend to think of themselves as caregivers, but we do know that military lifestyle a lot of times is going to put family members in a somewhat caregiver role. And so there's a lot of coursework around that as well. So thank you for asking that question. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great.
Excellent. Well, again, I can't thank you enough, Carol. not only for your time this afternoon, but also for all the work that you do for the community. It's truly inspiring. I can't emphasize this enough. Take the time when you can, check out the website, create the login, because like she said, it's the content is both engaging as well as enlightening, which is really a beautiful blend. And I look forward to tuning into your podcast. I definitely will check that out.
Oh, thanks, Mike. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Well, if there's no more questions, I'll go ahead and leave you all to your meeting, or would you like me to stick around?
That's completely up to you. What we'll be doing next is updates from the folks here. Again, it's kind of a smaller group today. So it probably won't be too long. So I'll leave it up to you if you.
I'm going to listen in. I might go off camera just for a second because I'm fostering a puppy, but I'll be here listening in. So thank you. Thanks, everybody. It was nice to meet you all. Please reach out and connect.
And I'll share both the slides as well as her contact info after the meeting here. Excellent. Awesome.
Yeah, I want to jump in real quick and just say real quick about Psych Armor. They're amazing and their programs are absolutely great. I've taken a couple of the trainings myself. They're not too long and they are engaging. So thank you for that. It's super appreciated, and the work that you guys do is it's absolutely amazing and needed. So thank you for that.
Thanks, Raven. I very much appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Love it. And Raven, I volunteered you for the podcast, so just a heads up.
All right, I'm in.
I love it. All right, so I'm going to jump over to Rich Lemaster for any updates coming for Veterans Business Action Committee.
Actually, I've got nothing currently. Unfortunately, I missed the last board meeting because I had an appointment up at the VA. So unfortunately, I don't have any updates from the VBAC, but we are looking to, kind of get back into the swing, getting people into meetings. All of our meetings now, if you're not aware, you did mention we meet the second Thursday of the month. Those meetings are also available. You can join via Zoom, which is what I've been doing right now. I know the last meeting, it only looked like there were a few people in the room, but we had quite a few people joining via Zoom. So it makes it more convenient, but it also makes it safer from a health standpoint. I'm personally a cancer survivor, and my immune system, I just had a checkup and I'm still severely compromised. So I can't be in a room with a lot of people. And this format is really great to allow me to participate in these types of events. And it also makes it available for people to participate with VBAC. And we're really looking to grow that participation as much as we can.
Can you send out the website or your contact info on that?
Absolutely. I'll let me drop a chat here with our website information, and then I'll add my email address. And if you wanted to be added to our mailing list or anything, just let me know, and I'll make sure we get you on that so that the meeting requests go out and you're included with those.
Thanks. Yeah, and Mike, appreciate you sending out Carol's stuff too, because I'll make sure our HR folks get that. And we're actually going to be having some meetings here internally and then with some sister agencies about expanding the veterans opportunities and trying to really get that moving a lot better.
Beautiful. We love to see that. Yeah, absolutely. I'll make sure to provide the connections and things of that nature. And that's really exciting because I mean, you're a big employer in your area, so I'm really happy to see the initiative to really become veteran ready, which I think is a big hurdle for a lot of us. So next up, Connie from the EDC, do you have anything to report?
So this is my first meeting, so I feel like I probably don't have too much to report, other than I am working on connecting with the folks over at CalVet, particularly their C-Save group. When I was in Idaho, it's where I just relocated from, I had a really great relationship with the state approving agency that approves employer OJT and apprenticeship programs. When employers get approved through that program, veterans can use their GI Bill to get like a housing stipend that supplements their income while they're working there. And for our area, it's a little over $2,000 a month, which is a lot of money if you're transitioning to a new career or in a training. So I'm working on connecting with them so I can get some more information. It's been a little hard to track down the right person, but I'm working on it. So hopefully next month I'll have more to share, and I'm hoping to be able to get more robust information out to employers, because I don't think many people know about it and how to get approved and through that program. So And it's really nice because once you get approved, you can retroactively pay veterans, I think, for up to a year. So, so even if you're currently employed, it's a great retention program. It's a great recruitment program from employers to hire more veterans. So that's what I'm working on, but that's what I've got to share today. So.
Thanks,
Have you reached out to Mel Steinbeck of Calvet?
Is it? Yeah, that's who I have. Mike gave me her email address. So I just sent her an email yesterday because I hadn't heard back from the previous emails and voicemails I'd left. So I'm sure she'll get back to me when she's got a chance. Then hopefully she can get me the right person. So.
Her link area is ginormous. If you ever get a chance to look at the link domains, it's crazy the territory that Merlene covers, but I'm sure she'll be back to you soon. She's awesome.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Greg with the Water District.
No updates necessarily specifically on veterans. I know we're, just folks need to just, if they're looking for opportunities, I know that we're trying to work with IE Works right now, potentially a new apprenticeship program, but it's got some startup issues. So I'll leave it at that. But we do have OIT programs. We're working on Mount San Jacinto. So there are a lot of opportunities in the water wastewater business, not just for operators, but accountants and clerical and various folks. And we just hired a spouse, actually for a vet and a spouse. So she's in our engineering and she does our tracking of all our projects, and she's fantastic. And I'm really excited because I poached her from somebody else. So actually, it was a friend of mine was going to hire her in private practice. I said, no, I want her. So it was good, but just no, I don't have anything else other than that. So appreciate what you guys are all doing and the connections. I apologize. I missed the last couple meetings just due to board meetings and other things going on. So
It's okay. As always, you are represented well here with Western Valley.
I'll try to make sure if I can't be on, somebody is on. So either our HR rep or our community outreach.
Absolutely. I love it. Thank you, Craig. I appreciate you. Raven, I'm sure you got tons to talk about.
Yeah, lots going on. Actually, I just wanted to share a couple of things, but I don't know if any of you know Richard Dela Cruz, co-founder of Operation Silver Star. Unfortunately, he passed away about a week ago. We're going to have, I'm working directly with the family, and there will be a public memorial out at the Temecula VFW actually tomorrow from 1 to 3 o'clock. You can just come out, stop by. We're going to try to honor him in the biggest way possible. We'll have the Riverside Sheriffs doing a police escort for his family, and just really get together and honor the work that he's done. He wasn't a veteran himself. His family, his son served, one is an amputee, and he just was dedicated and devoted to helping veterans any way he possibly could. Even in his last week, he was reaching out to me to work on some casework stuff together. So if you guys are free, come on down to Temecula VFW tomorrow. Also wanted to share our care package program. Milvet packs tons of boxes every month. Our next one will be March 15th at the Menifee Police Station from 5 to 8 p.m. if you want to come join us. It's a lot of fun. We have free food and it's all for an amazing cause. We have over 85 different addresses all over the world that we're shipping to. And then also the final thing, March 26th, we're doing a Vietnam War veteran recognition ceremony right here in Marietta. That's going to be at Town Square from 11 to 2. March 26th. And if you know any Vietnam veterans to be recognized, then just go ahead and you can find a flyer on Milvet's website. Maybe we can get one out there, Mike, to kind of share with the community too. There's a number on there for Sandy to be able to get them all set up and registered for that. And I think that's all I got.
Excellent, Raven. As always, thank you so much. Not only for all you do in the community, but also for recognizing Mr. Dela Cruz there. That was a big class.
He was awesome. Oh, and hi, Rich. Sorry, I missed Rich's face. I just wanted to say
Hi,
hello.
Raven. It's good to see. It's good to see your photo.
Right? I know. I'm sorry. I'm juggling today.
As always, one of the busiest folks here in Southwest Riverside County. Well, on that note, I think I've covered everybody here. As you know me, I am always Mr. Shameless Plug. So I do want to take this opportunity to do a shameless plug for this hiring panel that we've curated that is in line with the as Carol talked about our veteran ready campaign, the Bring in the Troops campaign happening that we do once a quarter. In fact, it's had such a big buzz around it recently that we are going to continue into March. So our presentation for March will be Mike Soto from Work for Warriors, just to continue on those resources for helping the community find good work. So I'm very excited about this. Big shout out to Lauren Ramos from Hiring Our Heroes for giving us access to these wonderful folks. And currently we have quite a few registered for this event, and they are all specifically in the HR space. So much like Carol in PsychArmor do, you know, the goal of this is to really kind of get in front of those decision makers and talk, just like PsychArmor does, about, you know, how to create that winning culture, where the benefits of hiring military are, and you know, taking those steps to make your business more accessible to these incredibly skilled military spouses and their families. So I'm very excited about that. Again, that's March 9th. That's at 11 a.m. It'll be about an hour and some change long. So if you know anyone in the HR space, tell them two things: go to the PsychArmor website and join us for the hiring panel on March 9th. So,
hey, Mike, can you send me that flyer so I can share it to the BDAC Facebook page?
Yes, sir.
I'd like to get that up for, you know, just get the information out there.
Absolutely. Can and will. I love it. So with that, that brings us to the end of our program. We're actually 15 minutes early, so great job, Carol, for being as effective as you are concise. I appreciate that about you. Also, I do not feel dead by PowerPoint. I think you did a great job. So let's get a Zoom clap for Carol and everything that PsychArmor does. You're incredibly dynamic, and I cannot thank you enough. So with that, once again, we'll see you all for the hiring panel on March 9th. And then we'll be back via Zoom as always on March 24th, because everything lines up in March as well, which is kind of cool, for the Military Affairs Committee featuring Mike Soto with Work for Warriors. So on that note, I hope you have the best afternoon possible, and I'll see you all soon.
Thanks all. See you next month for sure.
Thanks, everyone.